Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tour into President Joe Biden's administration's handling of the southern border crisis, calling conditions barbaric and inhumane during a town hall Wednesday evening. As we've seen, there are arrivals and undocumented children, rather unaccompanied children, that have come at the border, and this had led to completely inhuman and unacceptable, horrifying conditions of children in CBP custody. And it's unacceptable and it's horrifying, the New York representative told constituents during the virtual event. She also claimed that families who were separated during Trump's presidency are owed reparations. She did not specify how much the reparations should be, and her office has not yet responded to Daily Mail. Request for expansion on her demand. AOC didn't go as far as to blame Biden for the crisis, claiming the president is working to fix the problem, and instead blamed U.S. foreign policy for exacerbating bad situations in Central American countries from where migrants are fleeing. I've been in contact with the Biden administration personally. What is different is they're trying to figure out, she said. How to find the resources to end his problem. I don't want to excuse any of this, she said of Biden's policies. We should be doing better by now. The Congresswoman's comments came the day after she was slammed for telling supporters during a lengthy Instagram Live Tuesday night to stop calling the record number of migrants arriving at the border a surge, insisting it is not. She said using that language places the crisis in a militaristic frame. They want to say, but what about the surge? Well, first of all, just gut check, stop. Anyone who's using the term surge around you consciously is trying to invoke a militaristic frame, AOC claimed. And that's a problem, because this is not a surge, these are children and they are not insurgents, and we are not being invaded, which by the way, is a white supremacist philosophy, the idea that if another is coming in the population, that this is an invasion of who we are, the Congresswoman said. Critics have labeled the comments peak AOC and ridiculed her for not knowing the difference between the word surge and insurgent. Critics ridiculed Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for apparently mixing up the meaning of surge and insurgent when talking about the border crisis. They want to say, but what about the surge? Well, first of all, just gut check, stop. Anyone who's using the term surge around you consciously is trying to invoke a militaristic frame. And that's a problem, because this is not a surge, these are children and they are not insurgents, and we are not being invaded, which by the way, is a white supremacist philosophy, the idea that if another is coming in the population, that this is an invasion of who we are. Not knowing the difference between the meaning of surge and insurgent, and then using it as a talking point about white supremacy is peak AOC. It's like no matter what happens she has some half-brained complaint that has nothing to do with what's going on. Surge is racist? What the F*** do you even do? The men and women of the Border Patrol say it's a surge. The men and women at the Border Patrol say it's a crisis. The men and women of the Border Patrol know that these cartels are using these children and family units to drive them across the border and tie up their assets. This is a national security crisis. If she can't understand that or accept that, then she shouldn't be in Congress at all. In Biden's first few months in office, the U.S. has seen the highest ever numbers of illegal border crossers at the U.S.-Mexico border, particularly when it comes to unaccompanied minor migrants. Biden put Vice President Kamala Harris in charge of the administration's efforts to address the problem, as the White House still refuses to call it a crisis. Harris, however, has still not visited the southern border or the overflowing facilities as senior officials have walked back on her role, claiming she is more focused on addressing root causes in migrants' home countries. The fact that this keeps happening is a political failure of both parties, Ocasio-Cortez said during a question and answer portion of her town hall. A bipartisan group of lawmakers unveiled a bill Tuesday that would create a $1 billion emergency fund for border crises, but the proposal requires the Department of Homeland Security to decide on specific metrics that would unlock the money. The bill, proposed by Homeland Security Committee Ranking Member John Katko and Border District Democrat Henry Cuellar, would prevent DHS from having to reallocate its own funds for food, transportation, or clothing during migrant surges. It's rare that Democrats and Republicans agree on immigration, but there is bipartisan agreement that the situation at the southern border right now has reached a peak. AOC's critique of the border situation came after she was accused of giving Biden a pass during her Tuesday Instagram video, but excoriating former President Donald Trump for his border and immigration policies that also resulted in issues at detention and holding facilities. During 2019, Ocasio-Cortez visited facilities at the border and said the conditions under Trump were like concentration camps. Biden's border crisis is many times that of Trump's. Facilities were overcrowded, some by nearly 2,000% max capacity, and Customs and Border Protection projections last month showed numbers are expected to reach a record of 26,000 in September, which is more than double the record crossings under the last administration. The influx of children is leading to a bottleneck at custody centers as agencies attempt to make additional accommodations with makeshift facilities along the border. There were 5,767 children in Customs and Border Protection custody on Sunday, up from 5,495 children on Thursday, according to CBP data. In June 2019, when Donald Trump was president, the highest number of unaccompanied minors in custody was around 2,600, according to CBP data. Additionally, there are 11,886 children in the custody of Health and Human Services. Combining the HHS and CBP figures, the Biden administration has more than 17,500 children in custody. Biden's administration was also facing claims of transparency issues as they refused for weeks to allow journalists into detention facilities to report and capture images on the conditions. On Tuesday, Biden finally allowed journalists inside its main border detention facility for migrant children. The tour revealed a severely overcrowded tent structure in Donna, Texas, where more than 4,000 migrants, children and family units are crammed into pods. The youngest are kept in a large, colorful playpen with mats on the floor for sleeping since the facility is flooding by more than 1,700% of its capacity and the dormitories are full. Border guards say 14%, roughly 1 in 7, of the migrant children have tested positive for COVID, while photos also show detainees being treated for lice amid fears of an outbreak.